And there we go once more into the weird side of things.
Yes.
Because that's usually where we end up.
So why not just embrace it this time?
And of course, this is the Dead Red Herring Podcast.
Goddamn right it is.
With me, Roland.
And with me, Magnus.
And this time, just to sort of continue on with the weird themes from the last episode, where we talked about what lurks beneath, we're going to sort of have a discussion of things that are weird, but still real.
Like the old saying, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yes.
Or as in layman's term, you can't make this shit up.
Well, apparently you can make shit up. But even though you make shit up, reality seems to just one-up it saying, hey, watch this.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Hold my cigar.
Hold my cigar and watch this.
I mean, I think we're going to be sort of all over the place, but it's going to go into both the fictional part and the non-fictional part.
Yes.
So...
Might as well make a list now.
Yeah.
Number 10.
Number 10. Burger foot lettuce.
Number 15. Burger King foot lettuce. Oh, God.
The worst thing you want is... Oh, God. that voice... I just hope he doesn't have that as his regular speaking voice, because at that point, I think people around him would just either want to cut their ears off or strangle him, or both.
I heard he's a decent guy, so...
I do believe he's a decent guy. It's just that his monotone reading voice, as some people seem to enjoy, yeah.
This is not the strange things we are going to talk about this one.
No, it's just a beginning, sidetrack.
Exactly.
As you know, if you've been here before, you know we do these kinds of
shenanigans.
We take the scenic route to the subjects.
Good way to put it, actually.
It's not a detour, it's a scenic route.
Exactly.
But speaking of scenic routes, the reason that we're going into this kind of subject is mostly my fault, I would say, because last week I've been looking at
all kinds of shit.
Well, yeah, sort of. You stumble onto one thing and it leads to another, and suddenly you're down the rabbit hole of the weird side of YouTube.
Yeah.
In both the positive and the negative. So, on the positive side, we got, what's his name again? The amazing Randy.
James Randi.
James Randi, exactly. With the James Randi Foundation, and him... The funny thing is that he's a magician himself, or illusionist, which you call it. But he is an honest one. And it's not that he's out to debunk.
No, I mean, he thinks that magic in all, or illusionism in all its glory is a good thing.
Yeah.
But what he's out to get is the charlatans.
Yes, both that, and also he says that the reason he has his challenge, that if you can prove without doubt, reasonable doubt, and in a scientific manner, the existence of supernatural or psychic phenomena, you will get $1 million.
That's fair.
That is fair. So it's not that he says that, oh shit, nope, I'm gonna go out and debunk this. It's that, I don't know, let's take a look at it. If you have this claim, prove it.
I am open to everything, just prove it.
Yeah. The only thing I know he's out to so to say, debunk, is more that he wants to disprove and expose those who use illusion for nefarious reasons.
Yes.
Such as
these sentimental psychics, or I see...
mentalists.
Mentalists, exactly.
Or these faith healers and stuff like that.
I can see someone from beyond the grave. Do you know a man in your life? Yes. Yeah. Do you know a man who died? Yes, my husband. Your husband is here. And he says hi.
Yeah.
Those kind.
It's sad, really, looking at it, because usually the people that really get into that, they are grieving.
They're exploiting the not only the weak-minded, but the, like you said, the grieving-minded, the one who are who just want something to, because the people, as I was going to say, the people getting into this
who get exploited,
Yeah.
they are usually really stricken with grief.
Yeah.
Looking for anything to handle this. So they lost a loved one, a good friend, family member, whatever. Of course, you want to find answers. You want to have that last connection, that last conversation.
Yeah.
And you will go, a lot of people are, so not everyone, but a lot of people will go to any measure to get this, even if these measures are total bullshit. Which communication with the dead is, because there is no real evidence that it works. It's all, throughout history, it's all a game. It's all a fraud.
Yeah.
And now, some people might actually be taking issue with me saying this, but really, if you believe in that thing, I'm gonna say that it's up to you to prove that it's true. It's not up to me to disprove your claim.
We're not just gonna, how do you say, be quiet and believe?
Yeah, because just from my background, when I was in, I'm not sure if it's going to be middle school or, but at some point I went to a Christian school, and the people running this, for Swedish measurements, these were sect-like people.
Fundamentalist.
Yeah, the closest thing that you could compare them to is sort of the really Bible-thumping
evangelical
evangelist in the U.S.
God! Come here to strike you down.
Yeah, more or less. And these people believed in stuff like the faith healer. you know the meme where they show this woman has
one hand is shorter than the other.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is incredible.
Yeah, and during the so-called healing, the arm stretches out and
she's healed.
They believe that was real.
Jesus.
These are people that thought that Benny Hinn was the voice of God sort of thing.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I know for a fact that the pastor, the leader of this, he wasn't a believer. He was a con man. He only used these people to get their money.
Like they usually are.
Yeah. So it has left me with quite the sour taste for religion.
Yeah.
And also for me, I been studying philosophy, psychology, and you get certain perspective and look at things from a bit of different angle. I've been deep into conspiracy theories. I think they're fascinating things.
The believable ones.
Also, I think, if we're gonna look at these sort of story-wise...
Of course the moon Nazis are real, come on!
Haven't you seen the movie? It's a secret message, people!
Interdimensional vampires!
Yeah, Alex Jones, that's a gold mine of awesome memes. But also, the work people put into conspiracy theories of any kind, you gotta give them a fucking medal for that sometimes.
And that's when we're back to that whole this whole concept of you can't make this shit up.
Yeah, at least
some things are just okay. What the hell? That can't be fiction. Come on. Or what I mean by that is that just really, who has the mind to think of something like that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's take an example of something that sounds really ludicrous. That this shit can be real. Remote viewing.
Yeah.
Do you know what remote viewing is?
Yes, it's when, how do you say, psychic people, or the people who can mentally, how do you say, they can get a sort of out-of-body experience to spy on anyone on this globe.
Anyone or anything. They can, with their mind, or what you should call it, their mental powers, they can go to far off places and see it in the physical.
Exactly. If you want some sort of pop culture likeness, imagine when Doctor Strange goes to the astral plane and just flows around.
Yeah,
and
that is more or less a way to describe it. Now, the U.S. government through the CIA, have actually funded a project where they were doing this.
Oh boy.
Actual money going into an actual program that used these things to remote view the Soviets.
I'm not surprised.
No.
And if we want another likeness to pop culture, that's exactly what they did in Stranger Things.
Yeah, that is true. And also you have both the book and the movie with the same title, Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yes.
That was a real thing.
Yeah.
It's based on a real thing. They were actually looking for people with the psychic ability to actually make someone's heart stop. That's why they were staring at the goats, to make the heart stop.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be the ultimate state-funded assassins.
They sure would. Like we said, when you think about the U.S. government funding these things, if these things are real, then of course they want to be first. They want to be the best in this.
Now, I mean, as far as we know, the Soviets might as well have the same kind of program. I haven't really seen or heard anything of that.
Well, since they dabbled in making a gorilla hybrid with humans, I would assume
the GO gorilla kind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we have the news that
Japan is dabbling in hybrids.
They have the human ape embryos. That's also interesting. Now, they say that they don't let the embryo evolve into
the fetus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't go as far as starting to actually have a neural network. So, yeah, they terminated before that phase. But just imagine the implications of it actually going through term.
I know it's sin against nature, but I actually want to see a fully functional animal-human hybrid because, well, it would be cool.
It will be cool, but at what point do we actually need to pose the question of how do we define this? What would make it more human? Because I mean, this will be a thing that has human DNA in it.
Mm-hmm.
Would that make it enough of a human to have human rights? A lot of ethical question goes into this.
Should we have human rights? Yes, because it's human, but it's also animals. Should animals have rights? What?
Yeah, I mean, it gets into quite tricky territory. So, I mean, that's some Dr. Moreau kind of shit.
Exactly.
The human animal.
Dr. Moreau wants to know your location.
Yeah, I mean, chimeras.
Yeah,
These are chimeras.
Yeah, they actually are.
We actually have something from myth getting real.
Holy fuck, I want to see this, but still I don't want to see this, but I am conflicted in this. Help.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the day that there was this thing that promised that you could download your mind onto some sort of data memory, and when the time came, you could actually be implemented into a new body sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah, it was total
bull
crap. It was a hoax of highest nature, but I mean, there were a lot of people that fell for it. They actually paid a huge sum of money for this, the prospect of the half sort of promise of continued life.
A good thief can steal money from people. The best thief, they give it for you willingly.
Yeah, exactly. So
I just want to do that.
This is also something that should be just fiction.
Yeah.
But it's actually happened.
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube and look it up yourself.
I just had a thought. My mind started to wonder, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, when you said, like, the chimeras and all that, imagine they make this hybrid and make these monsters, and then we enter a so post-apocalyptic world that mythological beings start to sprout up from these experiments, and we start a new fantasy age.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be low fantasy because there's going to be no magic.
But technology.
Technology!
Excuse me, I have a book to write.
Or a game to make.
Even better. Ha-ha!
Aha! Yeah. That would actually be fun. Well, magic is technology.
Well, that we can't explain. So
Yeah. Magic
M-
is technology
science.
so advanced that you can't that it can't be explained yet.
Hmm.
I guess it's something like that.
Some cosmic radiation made you throw fireballs. I don't fucking know.
I wish it would.
Yeah.
Just a little sidetrack here. You know, throwing fireballs and everything.
Even more sidetrack?
Yeah, more sidetracks. You know, if someone has powers,
Yep.
but there's a backside to it, you know, B powers, C powers, that kind of things.
Oh yes.
Cosmic radiations give you the ability to summon flames with your hands, but you get hurt by them. It's sort of, you almost always expect that if you've given an ability that you can handle it without taking some sort of pain or
Well, there must always be equilibrium. So
yeah. Well, must it always be? Oh.
fuck you, you're imbalancing the universe.
Isn't that what magic is supposed to be? The breaking of the universe?
I suppose.
But either way, I mean...
Depends on the school.
It depends on the school of thought.
Yes.
But this part of having a ability or power, but you get hurt by it.
Yeah.
That would be classified as either a B or a C kind of power.
Yeah.
Personally, I look at it that if you have a grade power, you can do something, it doesn't give you a backlash.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's actually useful.
Well,
A B power would be you can do something, you don't really get a backlash, but it's kind of useless.
yeah, exactly. You can make your fingernails grow like 4 inches.
Yeah.
That's it.
I guess some women would be super happy about that, and they have the perfect nails all the time.
Well, I would.
And the C power, it's something you can do. It might or might not be effective, but it has a backlash on you.
Yeah.
D power is a power that is really useless, and it's just really negative for you.
Yeah. I would like to stretch it like A powers would be you can have a backside, but it has more of a useful side than it has more of a negative side.
So you need a classification of maybe S class powers that is really super useful and doesn't give a backlash.
Yeah, that would be godlike powers.
Godlike.
Godlike.
I mean, if we take a look at the X-Men.
Yeah.
Sure. How would you classify Wolverine?
Well, I would, since he has a constant healing factor, that would be...
That is his power.
Yeah.
The healing factor is Wolverine's power.
Exactly. The claws are...
Those aren't even a power.
No, those are a medical procedure put in afterwards. So
yeah.
Then, if you want to argue that he had bone claws before, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, sure. I don't remember when they implemented the bone claws.
But as far as I have understand it, they are post-procedure.
Yeah,
things.
Okay, so the adamantium claws, those are from the medical experiment that was made during the, what was the project? The Canadian...
exactly.
Yeah.
The...
When they cut him up and put adamantium into him.
Yeah.
So... But Wolverine's power is a S-class because the healing factor is super.
Yeah.
However, he actually does take damage getting the claws out.
Yeah. So his overall powers has devolved from S grade to A grade in that case, because since he takes a little bit of backside because he feels pain every time they come out.
Now, sure, you could discuss whether or not his adamantium skeleton is part of his powers, but it does give him a huge advantage. However, we know that, and this is actually in the comics, his healing factor is sort of reduced because of the adamantium actually poisoning him constantly.
That's
but
true.
Since he has his regeneration power, he can manage it. He just have a harder... Well, a turned down scale of the healing.
Yeah. And that's why they could put adamantium in him, because, well, he had the healing factor.
Exactly.
The other ones died.
Yeah. So, and if we take a look at Cyclops.
Yeah.
His kinetic
Yeah,
beam.
beam, yeah. A grade.
A grade because he can't.
Well, he can't use his eyes without the protection from his
Yeah.
glasses. Or his visor. Whatever he
I
wears.
mean, he has sight, but he can't really look at something without risking of blasting it with his beam.
Exactly. And I think that's what really defines X-Men, because they have powers, but since they are inexperienced, young, whatever, they can't really control them.
Well, it depends
Sometimes, of
on
course.
who you're looking at and stuff like that. But even if they are in their more experienced places, like you have Rogue. Her power is really magnificent, but at the cost of touching others.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a good side and a bad side.
Of course. Okay, I agree. Some of them are more S-like than...
Yeah.
Even more sidetracked. What does the S stand for? In these S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G.
I'm not really sure.
Because I have seen this goddamn tier list.
Yeah.
Before.
It's used in Devil May Cry, amongst others. But where it actually comes from, I have no idea.
Because I am glad you actually didn't quote Man of Steel when I asked what's the S stand for. It's not S, it stands for hope.
I haven't even seen Man of Steel.
Okay.
I don't want to see Man of Steel.
Well, Lois Lane asks Clark what does the S stand for. Well, it's not it's not an S. It's a
Kryptonian symbol for hope.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, back it up. Back it up. Just now we back it up.
Christ.
Now we're backing it up. Okay. Some X-Men might have S-tiered powers, and some of them are more into A.
Yeah. Because it depends on if there's a backlash or not, I guess.
Exactly. And I think the one S-wise, I would say Storm. As far as I can tell, there are no real backlash from her power. She can control weather.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. As far as I know, there is no real backlash either. Other than she was seen as a deity in Africa. And the impact was more of a social one than a real, physical or so.
And that I would say, apply to most mutants in
yeah,
X-Men.
exactly. So I don't really think that counts.
No, not really.
So, but
anyways,
that was another scenic route for your entertainment.
We shall return to powers later.
Later on. But if we're gonna take a look at something that is more of a question of atmosphere or psychological effects, because I mean you had the CIA, psychological effects such as the psyops operations and stuff like that. I mean the mental part of military use,
and not just hearts and minds, but superstition and fear.
Yeah, that's also part of it.
Terror.
Yeah. I was actually thinking just now of MK Ultra.
Oh yeah.
The program to make sleeper agents.
Yeah.
By way of breaking people down mentally so that they formed a second personality that was supposed to be trained as a super spy or assassin by use of different hallucinogenic means such as LSD and so. Well, we know that
it's a good ground for an experiment. How do we make this? I don't know. Start with LSD.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. I had some lying around.
I mean, it's just the whole conspiracy around it. That there were rumors of it happening. It was denied. It was said that no, this is just make believe. It's not real. And then the official papers come and say that yeah, we kind of did this.
Oopsie.
Yeah. So even if something sounds ridiculous, that it's just make believe. Here we go. There's an example of the real deal happening.
Yeah.
So that really happened. The same with the remote viewing and the men who stare at goats. It's part of the same fucking shit.
I'm sure in a couple of years, when there are no one who can get the blame or take punishment for it, some new information about the Kennedy assassination is going to come forth. I believe.
Maybe.
When when such time has expired that, well, we can't really do anything about it. Fuck it.
But the question is whether or not they actually will be able to get away. Let's say that there actually is some kind of paper trail or whatever. There is some proof that will tell us the real happenings behind it. Now, me saying the real happenings is sort of half and half tongue in cheek, because there is the official explanation of Lee Harvey Oswald and the book depository and the magical bullets and everything.
Yeah.
And then you have the theory with the grassy knoll, and that it was either the CIA, that it was the mafia, some saying that it was the Bush family, and
Kennedy shot first. No, wait.
That's a new one. Huh. He was actually playing with a revolver in the car and it went off. Hey, what's happening?
Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, look at what I found.
Exactly.
So he fired first.
Yeah.
Then the Secret Service started to fire around him.
Yeah,
So that he had these
exactly.
three.
And it wasn't that Lee Harvey Oswald actually shot. It was just he was working in the book depository, and
he was a photographer.
he had a rifle there. He heard the shot and was like, "I need to protect the president," and goes up and just looks out.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
There's a new one for you.
But what's most remarkable with the whole thing is him saying that he's a patsy. That he's innocent. He's just a patsy, and then he gets shot. So we don't really get a trial, and yeah,
It's like Epstein.
yeah, and there's also the autopsy protocols and everything like that. There is so much there that makes you question it.
Yeah,
but you won't ever get any real answers to it.
There's something not right here, and if there were something right here, why would they cover it up?
Yeah, so that is what I'm mean when I say the real answers or the real happenings behind it, because we don't really know. There are so much inconsistencies, there is so much questionable material, but the official line is that Lee Harvey Oswald did it, and there is no such thing as a grassy knoll. But I mean, in popular myth, it's always someone else.
Yeah, of course.
So
Palme shot first. Palme shot Kennedy. What?
Ja, Christer Pettersson. Vikt och what is it?
Smidigt, snabbt.
Yeah.
Wow.
The joke here is that when
we have our own Kennedy, so to speak.
When Olof Palme, Swedish Prime Minister, got shot in '86, the prime suspect for a long time was a man called Christer Pettersson, but it's never been proven.
No.
And one witness statement said that there was the alleged shooter ran up a couple of stairs, really agile and nimble. Now, looking at Christer Pettersson,
this man is neither.
He's more or less the opposite of this. He is a quite set man. He's not fat. He's not
stocky.
Obese. He's stocky. There is nothing about him that is agile or nimble. So, yeah, there's a lot of rumors and conspiracies around Olof Palme, but
also Stranger Than Fiction, I suppose.
Yeah, that is also Stranger Than. Well, the most prominent is that he was either assassinated by the CIA or the apartheid state of South Africa.
That would explain. I mean, the amount of affairs Palme had with what's his face? Arafat? Yasser Arafat?
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't really know that. No, I knew that he had a lot of things going with Soviets.
Yeah, that too.
And sure, I guess he was more pro-Palestine.
Indeed he was, and he was pro-Palestine before the rest of the world, I think.
Yeah,
so
Sweden, the Swedish government, so to say, was really early on with this. I'm not sure we were the first, but, you know. Well,
I can
now that I think
actually-
about it, isn't there some conspiracy theory about it being the Mossad also
That could-
involved in the whole thing?
Yes, I think it actually is.
Speaking of the Mossad, I mean, here's another scenic route.
Hey!
But also the stringer than fiction thing. When it was rumored that that Israel had the nuclear program,
Yeah.
they said, "No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't." And
No,
then,
no, no.
and then they actually managed to have a whistleblower telling that yes, they did. Do you know how they handled him?
Well, not. I'm assuming not the bribal way, if I say so.
They used a honeypot.
Oh, that's
Fine lady to get this guy to become emotionally attached, and then
boom.
Yeah, she was part of the Mossad, and they took him. I think it was something like that, but I know they used a honeypot to get the guy. I don't remember if he disappeared or what happened to him. But there's supposed to be some documentaries around about it. But anyways,
So remember, kids.
the result of it all was that the whistleblower got the news out that yes, indeed, Israel was making nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, conspiracies can turn into real deal. I have no idea how we actually went into this from the Kennedy. Well, it was actually Kennedy, Olof Palme, and then Mossad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. But just to sort of in some way finish up my thoughts about the whole coming to terms with the truth about Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that will ever happen, because if there is some higher players involved, no matter the time, I think at least it'll take a really, really long time. The stakes of killing a leader, and it's either being internal people part of either CIA or something. I mean, it's too high of a game to ever come out with the truth.
I guess that's true. If we're gonna put it on the tinfoil hat, they might just release the truth.
Well,
They oh no, but we had the truth here. Look at that. Oh yeah, that makes sense. The general population said, but
smoke screen.
Exactly. There is the truth
And the truth. Yeah. The nodding side and the
slowly shaking the head side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also, just looking at how people still go on about the moon landing.
Yes, let's ask Aldrin this one.
Yeah.
Hey Buzz, what do you think about this?
Snarl.
I understand him though.
Yeah, I can also understand him, and I can at the same time understand some of the people on the side that the moon landing didn't happen. And now we're talking about the first moon landing in '69.
Yes. Nice. That's why I remember the year. Nice.
But I can understand, because it looks weird, and you question whether or not how it happened and everything with the cameras and so. But have humans been to the moon? Absolutely we have. Did it happen back in '69 the way they say? I do believe so, but I can see that people might be a bit skeptical. But there will never be any form of peace brokered between the believers and non.
No, of course. I mean, there's always gonna be some. But what if?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the theories around the '69 moon landing, that it was actually made in a studio by Kubrick and everything like that. It's an interesting one.
Oh, how convenient! Kubrick is dead. We can never ask him.
Yeah, and just talking about Kubrick, that opens up to a whole different thing. We should actually go and have a talk with Dave on this.
Yeah,
with his tinfoil hat and everything.
Oh yes.
But if we're gonna move from just the conspiratorial side of things until more, not so much conspiracy, but still within the military realm.
The weird things that actually happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird things that happen in war.
Mm-hmm.
And terror things in war.
Since we talked about psyops, let's direct our eyes to the Vietnam War.
They're in the fucking trees! But yeah, you actually showed me something I didn't have any idea about.
I'm still proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm still full of myself.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So now, please, tell it again.
Well, during the Vietnam War, the Americans and the
the Viet Cong.
No, the opposite. The one who fought with
the South Vietnamese government.
Exactly. They worked on a special operation that is called Operation Wandering Souls. Or Wandering Soul. Not Seoul. But soul, as in...
Yeah. Soul?
Yeah, as is the word.
The spiritual kind.
The spiritual kind, yeah. Working with the American PSYOPs, they made a broadcast, or not a real broadcast, but they played sounds of...
They made a recording.
Yeah, exactly. They made a recording with men, women, and children screaming, wailing, just overall sounding all ghost-like.
And gnashing of teeth.
Gnashing of teeth. Exactly. So they made these sounds because in most of the world, but especially in Vietnam, there is a not a suspicion, but a superstition that if you don't bury your dead, especially now in war, the soul will never find peace. They will never find home. They will just keep on wandering. So they made these recordings with women, children, men, all sounding dead and lost.
How do you sound dead and lost?
With great effort. But despaired and all that. So
they also had Buddhist funeral music.
Yeah, exactly. With the... Well, it does sound very dissonant and weird when played like
There's
that.
a lot of reverb in that.
Very
they made this recording, and they had... I'm not sure how many of these they made, but the one most famous is recording number 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this, it starts off with the music, and you hear the wailing and the crying, and then there is someone speaking, and we actually looked at the YouTube video of this, and you get a subtitle on this, so you know what they're saying.
Yep.
And it's just saying that, oh, I'm dead, but I'm here, I'm back without a body, I'm here to tell you that
I'm lost, where am I? Help.
Yeah, that too, and it sort of comes back to say that it's not worth it, you should just go home, and nothing is worth this story, sort of thing.
Yes.
And there is this really spooky echo with the voice, and it's just used as a psychological mean to get the enemy to refrain from fighting.
Exactly. So they played this recording at night in loudspeakers across the forest. So the Viet Congs sitting in their goddamn trees
and in their holes
heard this out in the forest and just didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. And I can say that having something like this play from a loudspeaker in the middle of the forest, it really gets you.
I mean, if you think about it critically, as we sitting here looking at TV, like, all right, fine. They're playing up people who are dead. All right, fine.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're superstitious,
yes, but you're sitting in the woods, and that's when you talk about atmosphere.
Yeah.
When you're sitting there and thinking, what the hell is that? And you just, all right, this is really unnerving. I don't know what to do. And like you said, it only takes like 2 or 3 of the men that starts breaking down, and your morale is fucked.
Yeah, I actually have a little example of this, a loudspeaker in the woods. There's a place back home down in Skåne that is called Vannås. It's actually a castle, but it has a year-round outside modern art exhibition.
Oh yeah,
and one part of this, I'm not sure if it's still there, but it's usually during summer that people get there and look around. So I was out there at one point because it's it's a very beautiful nature area.
Yeah.
It's a forested area. It has some hills to it, and it's just this. How should I say? Explain it. Imagine this emerald green forest, really lush and fine and nice to walk around in.
Yeah.
And part of the castle grounds where they have this art exhibition, they put in a sort of speaker system that at some random points yelled out, "Mother."
Blah.
It was a kid yelling for or calling for his or her parents. So you could walk around and suddenly hear, "Mama." Like, what the fuck was that?
What incarnation?
"Mama." What? And the first time that happens, like, what the fuck? And then you realize, oh shit, it's a recording. It's modern art, so it's fucked up. But
modern art can make any morale drop.
Yeah.
So
exactly. But the first time it happened, it was like, holy shit, is there actually a kid around here? What the fuck? And then when it actually, you come to understand that, okay, it's a recording, there's loudspeakers in different places here, and they're playing this from time to time. It's not really that mysterious. But if you didn't figure that out, oh man, you would be fucked.
You're in for a surprise.
Yeah.
I guess it's that little seed of doubt, but okay, this is something is fucky here, and
yeah,
is this real? It could be real. Oh no.
So I guess what possibly made a Wandering Soul a success is whether or not the persons hearing this understood that this was loudspeakers and a recording.
Yeah. You could definitely see.
Yeah. but also speaking of recordings,
I think I know where we're going now.
One of my favorite parts of modern history of warfare is from Finland during the Continuation War.
Yep.
I'm not sure if we've mentioned this before on the podcast.
Some tidbit, perhaps.
Yeah. But this time we're really gonna dive into it.
Oh, yes.
Now, the Ruskies, they had mines that could be set off with certain radio signals.
They were set on a specific frequency that played 3 notes in some sort of combination would set them off. So you can sit, if you're Warski, you can see your mine, tap into the frequency. That's something else. Maybe not if you have an abduction complex.
So they could play the tunes on the right frequency, and off the mines would go.
Yes.
Blowing their enemies to smithereens. Now, the Finns had a truly ingenious way of blocking these signals.
They were basically, let's tap into the frequency and we have this song.
Let's play then some polka.
Enter Säkkijärven polka.
Yeah. So they play this song 24/7, non-stop for what? 1-2 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Or I'm not sure about how long, but
it was a while.
We found some numbers that they played it like 1,500 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Over a set period of time.
Yeah.
So it was just rolling this song, and the Russians noticed that, holy shit, we're actually being blocked from firing off our mines.
All right, let's do this. Click, click, click. What the hell? Click, click, click. This goddamn song!
Commissar, it is not working!
Fix it! How are we... You hear that? That was Simon Heie.
Yeah, and then speaking of this morality, moral killer.
Yeah.
Quick throwback to Vietnam. You had the punji sticks.
Of course.
That was really something that could demoralize the troops.
Oh, yes.
And just to a comparison with the Wandering Soul thing and the punji sticks, I think that actually the punji sticks are more effective at demoralizing troops because that is a real threat.
Of course.
Now, sure, if you're a superstitious person, you will get freaked the fuck out by hearing the voice of the dead talking.
Yep.
But being a soldier, walking around and never knowing when or where your foot will fall through the ground and into sharpened sticks, that is really
That's scary, yeah.
Yeah. Now, going back to Finland, knowing that somewhere out there in the snow there is a sniper. You can't see him, but you will know when he fires. Usually.
Yeah. And then it will be too late.
And then it'll be too late. Exactly. And I mean, just the fact that this guy actually survived a shot to the face.
That is hardcore.
Yeah. Lying out there in sub-zero degrees in the winter without a scope in the snow, just waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Simo. Simo Haie.
We salute you.
Yeah. I mean, that fucker survived the war and...
yeah.
Just...
oh god, I'm just thinking about a joke. People may have heard it already, but a Russian patrol is out patrolling in the Finnish winter.
Right. I've heard this one, but it was with Space... Imperial Guard instead.
Oh.
Imperial Guard and the Tau.
But yeah, someone is yelling, "It takes 10 Russians to one Finnish person." They'd send 10 people.
Yeah.
Gunfire, no one comes back.
Yeah.
Same. It takes 100 Russians to one Finnish person. Send them. Gunfire, no one comes back. It takes 1,000 to 1,000 Russians to one Finnish person. They send the whole battalion, just 1,000 people bombarding and gunfire. One crawls back. Don't send more. It's a trap. There's 2 of them.
Yeah, and the same goes. The Tau is out and someone yells, "It takes 10 Tau for one Imperial Guard," and so on, so on.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep. But then again, it's true.
Takes one guardsman with a bayonet and then they're fucked.
Yeah. Imagine 2. Or imagine even if they're Catacan. What's his name?
Sly Marble.
Sly Marble, exactly. Oh god.
Yeah.
Love it.
Man is a living saint is what it is.
But another thing when it comes to the more horror or psychological battle or part of the battlefield.
Yeah.
There are 2 really good examples, or should we say, well, the 2 I'm thinking about mainly is, first off, the old flamethrower that was used during the First World War by the Germans. Now, I was spending a lot of time here looking for someone to use this in a modern setting to just hear the sound.
Yeah.
All I could find was World War II flamethrowers, and they didn't have the same sound. Now, I actually had one video that had footage, but I'm not sure if it's the authentic sound. But from the description of soldiers that were on the battlefield, this is from the Battle of Verdun, I think.
Yeah.
They described the German flame troopers to, when they came with their weapons, they had a certain sound to it. And when they heard that, they got scared because they knew how horrible this kind of weapon was.
Yeah.
So I found a video that had this filming of, I'm not sure if it was a sort of showing.
I think it was a wartime reporting from the Battle of Verdun, actually.
So if well, the footage is authentic.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not it's from a real battle or if it's sort of a mock battle.
Of course.
But you have the flame troops running forward and shooting.
Yeah.
And the sound that is produced by the flamethrower is a chilling one because it sounds like a scream.
Yeah.
It sounds like a real human wailing scream. Now imagine the first time you encounter a weapon like this, because the flamethrower was produced and first put on the battlefield during the First World War, with the trenches.
Yeah.
So you can imagine hearing this wailing sound, flames sprouting out and just burning everything.
Yeah.
Horrifying as all hell.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Also, I mean, someone yelling gas
Mm.
and seeing a big cloud of.
Oh, that's a big bloom of yellow gas crawling
shit.
in. Oh,
yeah, and suddenly
no.
your skin starts melting.
Ah,
That's
shit.
horrible. But when it comes to sound, I think the two most iconic sounds for me at this moment is the flamethrower, and then we have the Jericho horns.
Yep.
The sirens that were put on the Stuka bombers.
Yes.
That when they actually turned into dive bombing mode, air went through these horns, producing the wailing sound that is so iconic today with any form of dive bombers.
Yeah.
But it was only made by these because they had these specialized siren horns on them.
That was the psychological warfare. I think the same principle was used by the Russians by their Nachthexen.
Yeah, the night witches.
Yeah, exactly. The all
female
flying squadron who wreaked havoc.
Yeah, I
with the
think
Germans.
because they had also some sort of wailing sound to them.
They were silent, but then you heard.
Yeah,
and then it was.
Also, speaking about Russian sounds, the it has another name really, but it's called the Stalin organ.
Yeah, the Katyusha.
Katyusha. The sound of these missiles going away. It just imagine your average small firecracker.
Yeah.
But on a massive scale. Yeah, but more of a whistling sound.
Yeah.
And I mean, accuracy? What's that? Doesn't matter. We have numbers.
Yeah.
that was the.
Who needs accuracy when you have destructive power? So.
Yeah. I mean, and also, I guess for the people of London, it was the sound of the V1 bomber.
Yeah. Exactly, during the London Blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've been talking a lot of wartime sounds now, and if we didn't have any more, I think if we're gonna end with the oldest of these kind, or two of the oldest, you have, if this is a theory, that the holes in the sling bullets,
right,
they made it.
Yeah, these kind of whistling sound.
And not only that, I'm thinking about the Aztec death whistles?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that is for people to
you should
look up.
Well,
because imagine if you're out in the night and just go some guerrilla warfare and just imagine 10 people with their own death whistle blowing that thing.
Okay, we should give them some context about this. Just not leave it like that.
Of course.
First of all, they have found a whole lot of bullets made or used by sling weapons.
Yep.
Was it in Scotland?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
These were made by the Romans.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. A lot of these had tiny holes in them.
Yeah.
And archaeologists have been looking at it and wondering what were they for. So they actually made a collaboration with Jörg Spav of the Slingshot channel.
Yep.
And he put it to test to see what actually was the meaning of this. And according to his results, it was to produce a chirping sound.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to look at this because if you ever question the effectiveness of a sling,
oh boy,
you're in for a treat because a sling will crack your skull quite efficiently at a quite efficient distance.
It was a prehistorical bullet.
Yes. I mean, you could see someone really proficient with the sling to actually be using something equivalent of a small arms rifle today.
Yeah.
So the theory right now is that they had the hole to produce this chirping sound that when you had a lot of slingers throwing away their bullets, it produced this chirping cacophony and suddenly a lot of people just fell down dead
Mm-hmm.
or injured
Yeah.
by being hit by the bullets. But the psychological effect of the chirping would make it seem like they were attacked by something.
Well, it was an invisible killer. I wasn't
Yeah.
a silent killer, but not really.
Yeah,
but
but
invisible killer.
yeah, exactly. So that's well worth to check out.
Yep.
Just go search for the Slingshot channel and
Chirping bullets.
Chirping bullets, exactly. The second one was
The Aztec death whistle.
exactly. Now this was a ceramic sort of whistle that is supposedly was being used by the Aztecs to produce a chilling, haunting sound.
It was a shriek, basically.
Exactly, that they used while running into battle.
Yep.
And so, I mean, you can go just looking for Aztec death whistle.
Yeah.
And you will find a buttload of videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But listening to that, just one making this chilling sound
that is
could
enough.
be really unnerving.
Yeah.
Imagine 10,000 of them. Just 10 of them, 100 of them. You don't
horde of the undead, basically.
Yeah. So that is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So the psychological side is really important when looking at that historically. And also, I mean, this is really weirder than fiction because as much as you have the stories of the dead coming back to life and calling out, screaming and everything, just knowing that there are things in real life that produces these sounds and hurt you.
It is enough to break any battalion.
Yeah. Just
the psychological atmosphere is at least as important in battle as the firepower.
Yeah, really. So that was quite the mishmash of topics.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. If people want to hear us go into detail on the specific things, then please tell us.
Yeah, and I mean, you can always tell us what you think of our show.
Well, you can do that also, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, leave a comment on YouTube.
Yeah.
When the video comes up, or you can always get in touch with us on Twitter.
Yep.
The main handle is @DRH Podcast.
Yep.
You can always send an email at dead.red.herring@gmail.com.
There you go.
And well, you find our stuff on, as I already said, on YouTube, and you find it on most podcast platforms. And of course, you can always check in when we're on Twitch,
We're
live
gonna
stream some gaming.
Yeah.
Which we do fairly often.
Fairly regular.
Yeah.
You can check in on YouTube to find some of the best bits of the streaming and some Let's Plays.
Yep.
A lot of fun stuff there.
A lot of goodies. And please, if you like what we do, support us.
Yes.
It's as easy as just spreading these things around.
Make us known.
Show it to your friends and family and unknown people on the street.
Perhaps even people you hate. If you think they're gonna hate it, then show them.
That's one way of doing it, I guess. So, yeah. Any final words? Don't worry, I'll just shoot you now.
Huh?
Just kidding, I'm no commissar. Yet.
I'm scared.
You should be. And with that, thank you so much for listening. Hope you had a good time, and we'll see you on later. Bye now. Psykjärven polka!